What up, gamers? Frontier here, and welcome back to Frontline 2 Exilium. So yeah, let's go continue with the story over here. I'm like pretty much halfway through. I'm guessing it'll take one more video for me to finish this whole thing off, and then we'll move on to the next updates, which I haven't looked into yet. I know there's a new broadcasting that they did. Alright, here we go. Colfin is in the scavenger camp, looking at the wounded woman from behind. Miss, is it getting cold? It's getting cold outside. Would you like to come back and rest? I'd like to walk around here a little. It might help jog my memory. The cold wind blows across the highland every now and then, forcing Colfin to press down on her hat to keep it in place. She follows the woman's gaze, but all she sees is empty wasteland, which makes her hold on tighter to her hat. All right then, I'll keep you company for a bit. Don't stay out too long though. The wind is cold. The hurt woman doesn't reply right away, only stretches her stiff neck as she takes in her surroundings, then begins shuffling aimlessly in a random direction. Colfin begins to wonder if this aimless wandering actually serves a purpose. That's the test plot. I think it would be best to not go in there. A test plot? She stops in front of that patch of land. But there's nothing here. It's a barren, square plot of land, out of place, rough, a waste of effort and hope. There isn't much as a withered branch here. It seems like the only thing that grows on this plot is nothing. However, Colfin notices some things that can't be overlooked. These scavengers go out tilling the soil almost every day. They began a little earlier this morning, and I can see the next shift heading this way. There's nobody here now, so does that mean that the day's work is done? Like, this is the only part where no snow has piled up. The scavengers seem to believe that the snow and its collapsed particles will contaminate the soil, so they push it outside the plot. Colfin looks down at the freshly turned soil, somewhat curious about it. Did they plant seeds here, or will they only sow after winter has passed? You know, it is cool to see Colfin now back into be more relevant here in the cutscenes. Supposedly, the seeds that these scavengers used were taken from their emergency rations. I wonder if they'll still live, but even if the seeds were fine, there aren't many cases where plants were successfully grown in the yellow zone. It looks like they've gone to a lot of effort for this. I wonder if they'll succeed. Not all efforts are rewarded. That sort of thing is commonplace. Colfin freezes, then turns to look at the woman. However, she just so happens to have turned aside, exposing an emotionless side profile to her. Colfin reflexively follows the woman's gaze to the heart of the settlement. All lit up and fancy, right? It's nothing like the desolation here. That's the heart of the settlement. They've got trade fairs, residential blocks, warehouses, and so on. You could call it a stable and fully grown developed town. Does that jog your memory? Nobody among the scavengers recognizes you, so I'm guessing that you might be from the settlement or an outsider who came for the festive trade fair. The herdswoman merely shakes her head, a blank look on her face. I see. Oh well, there's no rush, but maybe it'll all just pop back into place after a few days of rest and relaxation. Just then, someone heads over from the ruins. Hey, Miss Amnesia, Miss Doll? Well, isn't that a coincidence? Did you girls come out for a breath of fresh air? Several of the scavengers call out to them. A few minutes later, they're in front of Colfin and the woman. Miss Doll, did Miss Amnesia remember anything? I think she might need a little more time. These scavengers murmur their agreement, then one of them pats the injured woman on the shoulder. It seems to throw her off balance, and Colfin moves to support her. It's surprising just how much strength a gaunt little body like that can possess. In contrast, the amnesiac woman seems a little more well-fed. Colfin sighs internally. Oh, it's okay, miss. Just focus on getting better. Once you're strong enough, we'll take you around to look up the guards. That said, those dogs of the management have their noses in the air. They don't give a crap about us, so you'll probably have to explain your circumstances to them on your own. Thank you. Oh, it's nothing. If you really can't find your people, then you can just hang with us. Plowing the land and plowing the land and searching for parts is still enough to make a living. Who knows? Maybe you'll remember someday, as long as you don't starve to death. Maybe we'll grow a pumpkin that's taller than a man too. You guys really have a positive outlook. Yeah, they really do, man. The scavengers here, like compared to like um their life to those people like on the inside. Hey, these guys are still positive about things. Like I feel like they're very family oriented. Like with anyone. You're right. Things might not look so good right now, but if you hang in there, things will probably get better. Yup, yup. We made it through this year after all. Oh, I heard the expedition leader Garen came back. Although we probably won't be allocated any of the good stuff, we can probably beg or borrow some of it, right? Plus, the trade fair is almost here, so spring is coming and we'll be able to collect our annual supplies. Who knows? We might be able to grow something by next year. That's an improvement, right? Actually, I just remembered. I remember some of their stories, right? They said, like, some of them became, like, bandits or thieves or something, right? See, maybe not all of them are perfect or, like them. Truth is, most of us followed Chief Europe because our families were gone. The idea of finding people from our hometown and living with them is a better way than dying alone out there. When the days are this cold, you'll go for any way of keeping warm, even if it's just huddling up with others. The Wounded Woman is at a bit of a loss of how to respond and merely grunts. Alright, that's enough chatting for now. Our little walk is almost over. Miss, you ought to head back and get some rest. Colfin bids the scavengers goodbye and helps the wounded woman back to her sickbed. However, the woman turns and heads elsewhere as they approach the medical tent. Miss, our tent is this way. The wind isn't strong here. I'd like to spend a little bit more time outside. The wounded woman slowly walks between the tents. The red ribbons, which serve as festive decorations, flutter in the wind. When they block her vision, she reaches out to sweep them aside. Wait for me. Even though several layers of tense fabric, the scavengers' voices carry clearly through the air. This tastes awful. Are we really supposed to celebrate the festival by eating this? What do you think? You know as well as I do how this year turned out. You might not even get potatoes if you were outside. Just eat it, man. Or what if we tried turning it into mashed potatoes? Or maybe with a little bit of dirt to bulk it up. Or we could add some potato to the dirt for flavor. Come on. We can't possibly eat dirt, right? Leaving aside whether or not that's actually edible, we ought to save clean dirt for farming crops. How about adding some water? Would water work? You mean clean water? Didn't Chief Yura say to save some water for the sowing season in spring? If you think it's too dry, you can always try some of that meltwater outside. Now, with added collapse particles. Yeah, right. As if you could eat that crap. Maybe we could tell Chief Yura that we won't be celebrating this time around. I mean, we don't even know how next year is gonna be. We should save up some rations. Heck no. If the year went poorly, it can't be helped. We all worked hard this past year, to the bone even. That's why we need this reunion dinner to wrap things up properly. Being able to eat well is a good omen for the coming year. And besides, even if potatoes taste like crap, being able to fill your belly is still a good thing, right? At least you'll have the strength to work. Okay. Oh yeah, have you taken a look around the fair? They say Leader Garen's back and had quite the haul. There's just about everything in there. Lots of underground brokers came as well, with canned food, fish, meats, and so on. Wish I could try some of that while I'm still alive. Don't be a weirdo, okay? If you break the law, they'll drive you out, and they'll really starve you. You really starve to death. Meh. I'll just place my faith in these potatoes. Say, you think we can make it taste like fish? The wounded woman's strength fails her. She stumbles and collapses against one of the tent poles. Gah! Who knocked my tent? The scavenger draws the flap out aside. Miss Amnesia, are you okay? We were just making some dirt potato salad. No, wait, we nix the dirt. Wanna try some? Sorry for bumping into your tent. Oh, don't worry about it, miss. Here, have some. It's better than going hungry, right? We don't have much in the way of fancy cuisine here, but we can still fill our bellies. We'll be able to get some supplies once the festive trade fair begins. Yeah, we still have a fair. Um, I've been looking forward to it for half a year now. The management's never failed to deliver on that side. Maybe we'll get something other than potatoes this year? Why not come in, miss? No, it's alright. I was just passing by. I'm not hungry. She waves to them, forcing a smile to their face. Her smile soon fades, replaced by confusion and mixed feelings. Wow. I mean, I wish, we got some character arts from that, because, like, it was just, like, mostly just the background. But I thought that was pretty cool for, world building purposes, because, you know, just to get a glimpse of their life and stuff, it's, they gotta, make deal with, like, what they have right now. And, for the most part, I feel like they're still happy about it. At least, when it comes to two people, you haven't seen, like, the others, but, that one guy, the passionate guy, he seems to like be appreciating everything. But even that hesitant guy, he also, when he was talking to the casualty, like that person seems to even look up in life too, you know, when she came around. We follow Groza's analysis of the mini robot's route and head deeper into the ruins. Colfin sends through another comms request. Commander, Vepley. Colfin shoves Vepley aside and forces herself into the frame. She's speaking much faster than normal. Commander, that wounded lady vanished. Everyone in the camp searched all the tents, but we couldn't find any trace of her. She might have entered the ruins because we can't find her anywhere else. What should we do, Commander? When was the last time you saw her? About half an hour ago. We came back from walking outside, but just as I was getting ready to change her bandages, I came back and found that she wasn't in her bed. Vepley's been practicing for the show in the commander's tent. Vepley didn't see the missing audience member. Colfin briefly describes the events that took place. It doesn't seem like anything's wrong. The camp's far away from anything else, and she's hurt, so she couldn't have gone too far. Could she have regained her memories and suddenly remembered that she had something to do? With no idea about what might have happened, the dolls fall silent. Just leave her be for now. Whether she stays or goes won't affect us, and we saved her simply because we had the luxury of doing so. She's free to leave if she wants. You and Vepley can keep searching for her if you want. If you find her collapse somewhere, help her out. If you can't find her, then you don't need to spend too much time and effort on it. Understood, Commander. I'll look for her one last time. The transmission ends. I hope she's alright. Everyone, we're almost at our destination. Hostile robots might show up, so please stay alert. It's in the building up ahead, right? Main door looks closed. I'll go batch it open right now. Eh? We're going for a frontal assault? Chohua, wait. Chohua quickly halts in her tracks. We don't know what's happening inside the building. We should probably circle around the back and try to observe the insides before deciding on what to do. Oh, that makes sense. Sorry, I was being hasty. Let's go from the left then. Chohua runs on ahead. Well, these are ruins for you. There's tons of rot and rust overhead. Oops, mind your feet. The ground's crumbling. Thanks for the reminder, but I think you were the only one who stepped on the crumbly bits. Is that so? Clumsy me then. No making fun of me for it though. Ladies, please keep quiet. There might be some robots in there listening to the situation on the outside. The air falls silent. I think I can hear what's inside from here. Yura finds a hole in the wall and crouches down to look inside. A moment later, Yura pulls away from the hole. He seems shaken by what he's seen. He looks at me and freezes up for a moment, his mouth opening and closing like a goldfish's before he finally manages to regain the ability to speak. Beside him, Chohua eagerly takes his place. It's the right place. It's full of... Whoa, Commander! There are many robots everywhere in there. Row after row after row, with all kinds of resource crates around them. You gotta see this, Commander. Chohua took the words out of my mouth. Chohua pulls me over to the hole. Chohua, take a few pictures of those mini robots and see if you can find out anything new about them. Groza and Sabrina, help her out too. The dolls begin working. Those mini robots look like they're just any other robot you see in the Yellow Zone. Nothing unusual about them. Commander, given the weathering on their outer shells, it's likely that not all of them are from the same batch. They seem to have been manufactured in different series and gathered here. I see. Commander, can I prevail you and your dolls to take out these robots? We scavengers didn't steal those items, and if we can return the stolen goods, we might be able to change their bad opinion of us. At the very least, we won't be blamed for the most recent spates of thefts. Also, these robots attacked us when we were out in the wasteland. Lots of our guys have fought them before, and rebuilding the ruins would be easier without them around. I mean, we're already here, Commander. Why don't we throw hands with them? That was my plan from the beginning. When you attack, try and leave a few intact. I'll make tracing them or turning them in easier. It'll make doing that easier. Got it. I knew you'd say yes. Now then, shall we get to it then? Be careful. They might still have a functional alert. With a thud, Chohua lands among the mini robots and yells to her friends. Huh? Oh crap, I triggered their defense programs. Help me out, guys! Crap, these Thunder Gates and Goliaths are all moving. I can see that. Chohua, you should inform your teammates before you start a fight. Sorry, I haven't had teammates in a while. Won't happen again. The dolls rush to join the battle. Okay. Well, that's cool. We found all the stolen goods. But I don't know why these robots were the ones to steal them, though. I feel like it's got to be like programmed by someone else to do this. Oh yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, let's go and do some battling now. Let's go, Suomi. Yeah, I'm kind of curious, you know, if there's like any big reveals for the story. Because like, I feel like, you know, when it comes to the community, like the, you know, the more prestigious one, like with the gates and stuff, like the management, I don't know if they have any like bigger plans. I feel like there might be like another force here controlling these robots. Or it could be the management, you know, using these robots for something. Maybe there's like some like corruption going on. Or like, you know, maybe one of them is like stealing their own supplies for their own gain. After a brief skirmish, all the enemy robots are dealt with. Whew, it's over. So the Neon that was responsible for stealing all the supplies was actually this pack of mini robots. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They had a story about the Neon, right? I forgot if that was like the I kind of forgot what that was. I'm trying to think back. I forgot if it was like a, you know, like an Elid or like... I'm guessing it's not an Elid. I'm guessing it's just like maybe a thief. Commander, Chief Yura, let's go over our spoils. I mean, the stolen goods. Okay, coming. Yura and I enter the building and look at the supply crates of various sizes that cover the ground. Many of them are plastered with labels reading Festive Fair and fancy lettering. It seems they're part of the trade fair decorations. Let's start by consolidating everything. The battle just now has made it an even bigger mess of the supply crates compared to before. The dolls begin working at my command. Chief Yura, once we send this stuff back, people won't suspect these scavengers as much, right? Yeah, we'll finish doing an inventory of the items, and then I'll be heading them and these robots over to the inspector. The scavengers can operate these robots, and if the management takes a good look at these robots' authorizations and data logs, they ought to be able to find something that benefits us. However, Yura doesn't seem to be cheered up by this new development. The thing is, until the truth is made public, the fact that these items were found in our turf won't necessarily clear our names in the eyes of the people who don't know the truth. On the contrary, it might actually make things worse. I need to think about the best way to hand these over, and I think it's better to keep quiet about this until we fully analyze the pros and cons of doing so. I mean, yeah, I guess like you said, you know, once you're able to like verify like the logs and stuff, maybe do that first and then turn them in so that at least there's proof that, it's not really from them. That's what I would say. I know they're about to do that, but like maybe do that first and before, or like you do that first before you turn them in. Oh, it's not going forward. I'm like pressing. There we go. Can't you contact the inspector in private? Maybe try to send it back under the cover of night? This settlement has a night curfew, so things are pretty quiet then. I was thinking that too. I'll contact the inspector now. Yura's call is rejected twice before it finally goes through. The man that Yura calls the inspector has a stern look on his face, as though he was born scowling. Oh, you actually got a new face now. Yura, did you schedule this call? Sorry about this, Inspector, but we made it a surprising discovery. Yura points to the pile of lost items behind him. The inspector raises an eyebrow, and for the first time, he looks directly at Yura and me as I stand beside him. Where did you find them? Did you catalog them? What exactly is in there? We found them in the depths of the ruins. We're on the scene right now. I'll send you the coordinates. We've also encountered and sorted them. I'll send you the list as well. The inspector goes through the information Yura sent. Is that all? Is there nothing else? What else should there be? It's not like we've got a list of stolen items to check against, right? There's something I've been meaning to say back then in that interrogation room. There's something weird about you guys. If you have something to say, then just say it. The inspector seems completely unbothered by Chohwa's displeasure. Never mind. You've done well in finding the lost items. However, I have a question. These coordinates are in the depths of the ruins. When did the scavengers go so far inside? I don't recall seeing any reports about it. The question is addressed to Yura, but he's looking directly at me. We've never been here before. There are mini robots everywhere, and they attack in self-defense whenever anyone gets close. It's not like we can handle them with the weapons we have. It was all thanks to Chohwa and her commander. Yura steps away from the center of the frame so Chohwa and I are fully visible. Chohwa merely shakes a fist and grits her teeth. So, you're that Inspector Gadget, alright. Another reference to like yeah, that's a show, right? Inspector Gadget, that was the name. That's cool, I like that reference. Or something. I remember your voice. You were questioning me in there. You were on the other side of that one-way mirror, weren't you? The inspector nods to me and ignores Chohwa. Perhaps I'm imagining things, but he seems a bit too focused on sizing me up. Inspector, I called you in the hopes of arranging a way to secretly transport these items. After all, they were found in the ruins. It's not like the scavengers get to contribute to the community, so we'd rather not have it cause suspicion and dissent instead. That is understandable. I'll have my assistant arrange the details for you. And with that, the inspector ends the call. Huh. I just got an invitation to a meeting from his adjutant. Looks like I'll have work to do today. That's good, right? No matter how you slice it, since the scavengers are bringing the lost items in, they can't just turn it around on you, so you make you the villains of the story, right? Who knows? We're not like Leader Garen and his expedition corps. Everyone loves them. Still, since we can't change everyone's view of us overnight, all we can do is the best we can within our abilities. The inspector seemed to be in a better mood after seeing those items. He probably won't hassle the scavengers for a while now. Chohwa, everyone, thank you very much. Did his face change? It did, right? Usually he frowns even more than that. Chief Yura seems to have thought of something and he hugs himself while shuddering. Never mind, it's in the past. No points thinking about it. Commander, Chief Yura, will we be going back to the camp to resupply? If we're only going to move the stolen goods after the sun goes down, you might have to wait for a while. I want to watch over the goods myself. After all, we went to a lot of effort to find it. We can't let this roast chicken fly the coop. Commander, could you lead the dolls back and give them a rest? I've logged the routes we took here. I'll have my stronger friends come by later to prepare to move the items tonight. Will it be okay? I think you mentioned that this was your first time coming this deep. Well, you cleared the route, and we'll be coming in force. I think we can handle it. Noticing our hesitation, Yura lightheartedly reassures us. We'll be fine. My boys and I have been exploring these ruins for almost a year now. They've grown a lot through their experiences. If there's anything we can't beat, we'll run. Fair enough. We'll be heading back then. Alright, Commander. Will you be staying for the festive trade fair? Once it starts, we'll probably be able to collect some supplies. When the time comes, feel free to come by our camp and we'll celebrate. While our points are kind of dismal, we should have enough for a decent dinner with our saviors, I think. Oh, speaking of meals, I actually found something interesting just now, but I don't have the time to explain in detail. Once we're done here, I'll tell you all about it at the camp. If it all goes well, we'll be able to eat more lavishly next year, even if it isn't this year. That would be great. The way back is long, and we can still see Yura waving to us in the distance. Commander, I actually received a text message just now. It looks weird, some kind of prank. Like some kind of prank. However, the timing was impeccable, so it might actually be legit. Johua holds her communicator up in front of me. The sender is unknown. To the commander to the commander of the Elmo, I have an urgent commission for you that pays well. The price is negotiable. I would like to tell you about it in person, Farm Inspector. There's a bunch of coordinates behind it, which just so happens to be inside Darksteel Farm. When did you receive this information? Right after Chief Yura spoke to the inspector. Rosa, can you pinpoint the location of the supplied coordinates? While it's within the farm, it's some distance from the other locations we passed through previously. Now, comparing with the map data of the fair and settlements, I found a commander. It's the farm's administration center. Huh? Could it really be from the inspector? Are you interested in the message's contents? He did say it would pay well. I give Groza a meaningful look and urging her to think of the Elmo's bills, and Groza indicates that she understands. Commander, I believe we should learn more about the nature of this commission. It's decided then. Once we've rearmed and rested, we'll head over. Do we need to make an appointment or something? Chief Yura got grilled just now because he didn't make arrangements. Come to think of it, how do we even make appointments? Do we have permission to do that? The message didn't mention any particular timing, and it said it was just an urgent commission, so maybe we can skip the appointment. Huh? Is that what it means? No point thinking about any more about it. We'll know once we get there. Okay. So wait, is this from Chief, or not Chief, from the Inspector Gadget? Or Inspector Leo, I mean? I feel like there's something fishy going on about him, because, you know, like, when we were just talking to him, he just seems like really focused and, you know, like to the point with some things. I feel like maybe he'll try to have us turn against the scavengers here. That's gonna be my guess. He's gonna make us like betray them, maybe. Like, you know, give us an offer. You do this and like you get rid of the scavengers and we'll give you all this. There are many guards near the administration center, and we are approached before we can even reach the signposted main door. He's frowning too, just like that stern inspector. Are you the Elmo's commander? I'm Inspector Leo's assistant. Please follow me. He follows a metal name tag with his... He produces a metal name tag with his name on it from his pocket, and after briefly checking our identities, he gestures to us to follow him. The two squads of guards coincidentally happen to arrive and begin a shift change. As the rows of men interlock in shift, the adjutant heads toward the main door, but instead goes around it, heading toward the rear of the admin center. Oh, is he gonna try to maybe take us out? Like this is a potential ambush, maybe. I mean, you know, when we tried to enter, they did try to ambush us, so it wouldn't be the first time. I signaled to the dolls to slow down. Chohua leans in close and whispers into my ear. Is there a need to be so sneaky about this? Isn't the inspector the big boss of the settlement? You think they're gonna try and arrest and interrogate us? We'll just have to ask them. I look behind us. The shift change is proceeding apace, with the guards reporting to each other in the usual fashion. It serves to completely screen off the route we're taking around the admin center. Excuse me, but aren't we going through the front door? The inspector would prefer that this discussion be conducted in secret, so we seek your understanding. Our choice of location is not very conventional. Huh? Listen up, pal. Conventional or not, it had better not be that dang interrogation room again. No way in heck I'll let the commander go in there. You have no idea, Commander. You can't get out once you go in. It's like the Black Dolphin prison. I'm guessing that's like a reference from the first game where like that actually happened, where they went there. Uh, please be at ease. You're not under suspicion, and the venue in question is simply a room that has not been used in a long time. We won't draw attention there. The dolls look at me, waiting for my answer. The adjutant glances to the side, the guards behind us. They won't able to buy us much time. What does that mean? Commander, the inspector does not want to force your involvement, but I shouldn't be saying this, but as an individual, I hope you bring some change, some ways to improve things. The adjutant does his best to show his sincerity. Does your inspector keep his promises? I distinctly recall him mentioning it pays well. The adjutant freezes for a moment, and then he responds. I'm sure you'll be satisfied with the payment. Please follow me. The adjutant pushes the door open and gestures for us to enter, while he stands, watch outside. There's someone waiting inside the room. Commander of the Elmo, your reputation precedes you. I'm glad we could meet at last. Your performance during the settlement theft case has left a deep impression on me. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm sure you will not be disappointed by the payments for this commission. He stands up and looks me over. There is no sign of anything resembling joy in his stern expression. Besides me, Chohua clenches her fist. I cover her hand and then hand her off to Sabrina so the latter can try to calm her down. Hello, Inspector Leo. It seems one of my dolls was in your care previously. Allow me to thank you for your hospitality. The inspector goes silent for a moment. We regret mistaking your doll for a thief, and all suspicion on her has been cleared. If our interrogators gave any offense, I would like to apologize on their behalf. Chohua, they've apologized already. Don't be mad, okay? I'm not mad. I was framed. I've been running around in the yellow zone for years, and this is the first time anyone's treated me like a thief. Also, the inspector seems to have a commission for the commander. It's going to make things difficult for him if you stay mad at the inspector, don't you think? Sabrina patiently quells Chohua's wrath, which allows her to cool down and think. That kind of makes sense too. Chohua glances at the inspector one last time and takes a deep breath. Fine then, for the sake of the commander and this payment, I hope we'll all get along. Sabrina breathes a sigh of relief as she mutters to herself. Good thing it was Chohua, at least she's easy to persuade. She's always been the accepting and optimistic type. I muttered my own reply to Sabrina. Maybe that's why she makes friends everywhere she goes. I just want the misunderstanding to be cleared up, so it does not impede our joint operations going forward. Have a seat, Commander. The inspector pulls up a chair, and we both sit down. Before we officially begin, there's one thing I'd like to verify for safety's sake. I understand your capabilities to a certain extent, and since I have decided to entrust you with this matter, I will also be placing great trust in you. To facilitate the future endeavors, I will be sharing some information with you that should not leave this room. Can I ask you to keep it a secret from me, whether or not we end up working together? Don't worry, we of the Elmo know how things work around here. I'll get to it then. The farm lost more than just those items you found. We also lost collapsed pieces, enough to feed hundreds of people for 6 months. Once he finishes, the room is so silent you can hear a pin drop. Wait, how many? Holy crap, this is one heck of a job. If you're talking about enough to feed hundreds of people for a half a year, you need a half dozen dump trucks to carry them all, right? We were planning to use those collapsed pieces to purchase the basic living supplies that we would be distributing to the residents on the first day of the festive trade fair. We have chosen to delay the opening ceremony, but that is not a permanent solution. Let me put it this way, even if we distribute all the remaining supplies in our warehouse, we won't be able to support the settlements for half a year. In addition, we cannot keep delaying the opening ceremony forever. I want to hire you to find the lost collapse pieces ASAP. As for the payment, the inspector sounds tired and dejected, as though all of this has drained him of his emotions. He sends me a contract which contains a respectable figure. Considering the sheer quantity of collapse pieces that went missing, don't you think calling it a simple case of lost and found is kind of insulting to the residents' intelligence? Of course, it would be strange to say they vanish all at once, but that is why I'm handing the secret investigation to you. The collapsed pieces are normally stored in the most heavily guarded parts of the warehouse. Not many people can repeatedly access that area. So you suspect someone inside the settlement was involved. If a full transport chain was involved, maybe it was a group effort. Right now, I have no idea who I can trust, so I might as well draw on the outside force to help. Thanks to this doll, I had a perfect excuse to publicly mobilize our resources to investigate the Elmo. At the very least, I'm now certain that you are an uninvolved third party, at least for the moment. Everything is clear to me now, for the most part, but I have one question. I point to the payments on the contract. If the amount of collapse pieces we find does not match the initial estimate, then even if we do this task for you, there's no guarantee that the farm's management committee will be able to pay the full amount, or even pay at all. Am I correct to assume this? The inspector is silent for much longer than before. Finally, he nods. To be frank, the sum promised here is the maximum amount I can muster up, even if everything goes according to plan. The recovered collapse pieces are indeed for the celebratory distributions. Only after those are given out can the remainder be used for payment. If you accept payment in installments, then as long as the farm survives, you will be able to pay off the promised amount in 3 years. I am somewhat surprised by this. Isn't 3 years a little long for this? From what we saw in the daytime, the festive trade fair had a wealth of goods on display. Surely the farm's finances aren't that bad, are they? Part of the merchandise on display at the festive trade fair is brought by the brokers themselves. The rest is collected by the expedition team. Also, our trade with the brokers depends on what the expedition team brings back. Right now, the nearby ruins have essentially been cleared out, so the expedition team can only go further afield. We need to take into account the impact of such factors on our work efficiency. I see. You have been very forthcoming with us, so allow me to consider your offer. I studied the number of on the contract to think about the Elmo's financial situation and how we have very few options left. Our expenses have increased as the number of dolls joining us has gone up. Even 50% of the offered price would allow us to cover the Elmo's operating costs. Very well, I accept. I reach out and shake the inspector's hand, then quickly finish signing the contract. And now, we can finally get down to business. Do you have any suspects in mind? Yes, the lead suspect is our accountant, come warehouse manager. Her name is Delia. We have found some irregularities during our previous routine investigation, but she had gone missing by then. The management went through all our surveillance footage, but didn't find any trace of her. I didn't know accounting was so dangerous. When did she vanish? Yeah, my bad if my voice is going out. Hold on, let me. Maybe I'll clear my voice right now, just really quick. There we go. Just made my mic. Should be all good now. Just been reading a lot. Wait, when did she vanish? That was three days ago. This was her personal file, including her picture. The inspector brings up the suspect's photograph. Sabrina exclaims in surprise, and even Rosa has a stunned look on her face. Commander, that's the lady we found. You've seen her. When? Where's she now? If she's the one you're looking for, things might be a little tricky. It's true that we saw her, but she ran off. According to the transmission from Colfin, she had already left the scavenger's camp before we found the missing trade goods. I feel like with her, maybe she knows something from the inside where she might be good, and then Inspector Leo and stuff are the bad guys here. Rosa quickly explains the situation. Have you been checking your camera footage over the past couple of days? No. The trade fair is about to begin, and our guards have been stretched thin. Also, We performed a comprehensive search before and concluded that she had already left the farm's territory. Actually, some people subscribe to the theory that the most dangerous place is the safest place. We might still have a chance. Since she already turned up to the scavenger's camp and we know the time frame when she left, we could try looking through the logs for the cameras nearest to the camp. That might narrow it down. Then let's go to the archives. Sometime later. I see. It all makes sense now. After she left the scavenger's camp, she entered a civilian home and left with a trolley and supply crates, heading for the fair. She disguised as one of the traders. Choha plays a video clip of all those events in sequence, forming a complete narrative. Our eyes meet, and we decided to take action immediately. There are more people in the trade fair today than before. Everyone is smiling brightly, their faces full of hope and anticipation, utterly clueless about the disaster looming on the horizon. I glance to my side at the inspector whose face is fixed on in a grim scowl, and reflect on how ignorance truly is a bliss. Choha in position. I'm ready too. The disguised Delia has already come into the range of the dolls. It is time to close the net. Commander, we're in range. Ready to capture the target anytime. Go. On my command, Choha and Groza rush forward, each seizing one of the target's arms, and Sabrina steps up in front of her. Shh, don't panic. We're just here to... Delia quickly looks between the dolls and me, but her eyes light up the moment she sees the inspector, like a limp marionette suddenly imbued with the spark of life. All of us disguise ourselves before coming here, but she somehow managed to hone in onto the inspector with perfect accuracy. How she did is a mystery. Dear customers, your order is ready. Please follow me to collect it. Okay. What? Huh? Wait, what order? Do we place an order? Delia lowers her voice. I won't run. Please let go of me so people won't notice. The inspector needs to know the truth. I can't let myself die before that. Oh wait. So wait, the inspector's on the good side. But for some reason she like ran away. I guess, maybe she was like being chased down. So she needed to be safe first before going to the inspector. Delia looks at the inspector. Choha and Groza looks at me, awaiting my order. Why are you so afraid of me? I'm just a hurt civilian. I'm not even armed. Let's go. You came here looking for me, right? I signal to Choha and Groza to let her go. Please follow me to the temporary cargo holding area, dear customers. Delia leads us away. She's trying to move quickly, but her injuries mean she isn't actually moving at all that fast, which only adds to the tension. We come to a halt within the storage area, which is largely deserted. At first, my plan was to continue pretending to have lost my memory and stay in the scavenger's camp before leaving the settlement. The further I got from this place, the better. But in the end, I couldn't do it. Delia looks toward the scavenger's camp and sighs. Then she takes a booklet out of her pockets. There are dark red stains on it. This is the real accounting ledger for the warehouse. You'll need it. The late former warehouse manager hid it very well. Dang him. It took me a lot of effort to find it, and I doubt you're interested in hearing the details right now. Delia looks at the inspector. We still have no idea what that implies. For the past few years, you would go out in person and inspect the progress of the preparations for the trade fair. That was why I chose to pose as a merchant at the fair. In order to increase my chances of meeting you, I needed to personally ensure this book reach your hands. Inspector, I have someone I would like to report. That would be the expedition leader Garen. For many years, he has falsified the amount of supplies he gathered and falsely claimed contribution points for the expedition team. In addition, he has stolen large amount of collapsed pieces. They took them in roughly 20 batches since the start of last month. The evidence is included in that ledger. A cold wind blows. For a while, everyone is silent. Is it tradition of the settlement to drop a bombshell news with completely straight faces? Contorting your faces for emotional expression consumes energy, which is a luxury I do not have right now. Delia wobbles as another gust of wind blows, and Sabrina worriedly moves up to support her. You need medical attention, Senora. Delia waves her off, her eyes still fixed on the inspector. The previous warehouse manager was in on it, but it seemed he had a disagreement with Garen on a matter of collapse pieces, so he lost his life. The moment I took over, I noticed something wrong with the accounts and was nearly silenced as a result. My would-be killers thought I was dead and threw me into a disused storm drain. If these dolls hadn't been there, nobody would have found my corpse. Who do you think sent those killers, and what weapons do you think they use? The inspector does not reply. Rosa and Sabrina quietly look away. It's a little embarrassing to be called out for illegal immigration right in front of the region's supreme authority. I fled here because of disaster. I know just how bad life in the Yellow Zone can be. It took a long time and a lot of hard work for the settlements to get to how it is today, and it's thanks to everyone's efforts that it's still going on. I've decided I'm done fleeing. It's too tiring for me. Can you take care of this, Inspector? Right now, the only person who can stand up to Leader Garen, and the only person we can count on, is you. But like, what if the Inspector is also in on it? I mean, I don't know. The thing is, like, he's the one like giving us the order, like the contract to find these stolen goods. But like, I'm just wondering if maybe, you know, this whole thing was done instead for the inspector to, take down Delia, and then maybe he feels confident enough to take us out as well, so that I'm wondering if it's like that, you know. You ought to know that this just one piece of evidence isn't enough. The former warehouse manager's body has already been disposed of. That particular dead man will not be telling any tales. But we have a duty to the residents. Everyone has worked hard all the year and handed their excess wealth and resources to the management to handle. Hardly anyone has any reserves. Know that the celebration is at hand. We both know that people are going to start panicking if the supplies aren't handed out, and it will soon erupt into unrest and chaos like the outside. This is more than just a simple case of theft, so I urge you to treat this matter with the utmost seriousness. I understand the gravity of what you have said, and I will thoroughly investigate this matter. Until then, the guards will arrange for you to be housed in a safe location and receive round-the-clock protection. In jail? I have considered that option. The inspector ignores Shohwa's groans and looks Delia in the eye. The farm does not have any dedicated witness protection areas, so in lieu of that, a prison cell would be a more secure location, as it is staffed by reliable personnel and its layout is already well known. Currently, it is the best option for protecting a sensitive witness. I will do my best to furnish you with a comfortable environment and medical care in your cell. You will only be detained for a short period of time in order to ensure your safety. You don't have to explain further. I trust you to do the right thing. I don't know, man. I feel like it can go like either way. I don't know if he's also in on it too. But at the same time, he did give us that contract, but it could be just a lie just to like capture Delia. Because like our task was to like, find a woman, right? Yeah, find Delia here. Inspector, I've already celebrated many celebrations here in the management. You have never once missed a single one, which is why everyone has come to trust you. Delia thinks, and the and the she fixes, and then she fixes the inspector with a stern look. I believe you understand the significance of the celebration in everyone's eyes. It's more than just a day to collect living supplies. It is a symbol of hope in the future. It shows that the path of unity, cooperation, and coexistence that we chose to cling to is a meaningful one. So please, may the celebration be a happy one. I will do my utmost. The inspector's adjutant and his men escort Delia away and out of sight. Sabrina notes that the inspector's hands are balled up into a fist. She nervously moved closer to me before whispering into my ear. Is he going to be alright? He seems a little, Isn't it a good thing that we found an idea where to find the missing collapse pieces? I remember the vendors talking about the inspector and the expedition leader's shared past. They were battle buddies once. Yeah, I feel like, I feel like there's, I mean, yeah, he's probably either innocent and disappointed into Garen, or that maybe, I don't know, man. I'm still not sure about this. It's good for the case, but for him as a person, well, human emotions are a complex thing. We return to the admin center with the inspector. There's a gloomy mood in the air. Oh, there we go. That was perfect timing. How many is there left? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so maybe in the next video, I think we can do all of this in one go. It'll probably like, be a longer video than usual then. But yeah, guys, there you have it. That was it for this this video here. Next time, we'll try to finish things out. And now, I think I'll go ahead and watch that new, that one broadcasting that shows the next update and stuff. And then we'll see the new character. But yeah, that'll be for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good